Holy shit, they found another dead body. Another dead body in Costilla County. How many more dead bodies do they have to find in Costilla County before somebody says or does something about it? Investigators working to identify human remains found in Costilla County. This was posted by Angela Case, 9 TV Denver 1 week ago. And this is all the information that we have. This is embarrassing, the limited amount of information that the media is going to talk about. They already got the story, right? Well, they didn't get the story. They got the body. They got a headline. They was able to fill in the news holes and look at all these advertisements. It's more about the advertisements than it is about they're making money, right? The media's trying to make money. So let's just look at what few pieces of information, okay? There was an email, and it was from someone who said that human remains were found on his property in the Wild Horse Mesa community in southern Costilla County. That's in south central Colorado, right on the border of New Mexico. And then they contacted some other people, and who knows if they'll figure anything out. This is not the only human body that has been found. The Susan Morphew remains were found in Costilla County. So we think we found that guy, right? Barry Morphew drove down to Costilla County, dropped some bones. They're calling Costilla County a boneyard. They're calling it a boneyard because if you're right-wing sovereign Nazis or if you're a bunch of criminal gangs, I mean, that's the place to go ahead and off people and then just throw them into the sand. It's a remote, rural, desert property that's up in the mountains. It's actually like the highest desert valley in the world. So the remains were found, and actually just take a look where they're putting this dot. I don't know if they knew exactly where the remains were found or they're just pointing to the Wild Horse Mesa. But they're saying it's right below San Luis, right? There's the border of New Mexico and Colorado. And then right here is the Rio Grande. And then the Rio Grande, you're going to have the Lobato Bridge, and then Antonito's right there. So it's about like a 20, 30-minute drive to Antonito. And then San Luis, it's actually about a 45-minute drive to San Luis going from this direction. So the remains were found about 20 miles away from the Lobato Bridge. And then this is also 159. There's a road that comes, right here. That's the main road. That's the main artery. You want to find out what's going on? If you're the feds and you're trying to find out what's going on, if you just put a patrol officer on the Lobato Bridge and put a patrol officer on the 159, I don't know if it's highway, state, whatever, but road 159, and then the Lobato Bridge, that's County Road G in Costilla County, and then it's 8th Street in Antonito. Antonito, 8th Street turns into County Road G. And this area right here is particularly interesting for a number of reasons. My God, there has been, 6 to 12 arsons. There was that damn, fucking pervert in McDonald's. There was just so much shit there's drive-by shootings. People go around killing people's dogs. The people are stalking nonstop. That's Phil Greeny. If I'm an investigator, I'm asking Phil Greeny questions, Sam Jepson questions, and I'm going to ask, I don't know, let's see here. Phil Greeny, Sam Jepson, and Robert Pickerel. There, ask those guys questions. That's where I would begin my investigation. But that's if we want to stop the crimes and the criminal activity. If we're being serious about stopping the crimes and the criminal activity. But the media, all we're being told is that they found a body on the property. Well, knowing the, authorities around there, they're going to just arrest the guy that found the body. They're not going to go after it. They're not going to look at it. They're not going to do, any blood splatter reports. They're not going to do any kind of testing whatsoever. And they're not going to follow up with it. They're not going to follow up with it, and they're not going to find it. Susan Morphew's body was found recently. Edna Quintana's body, the remains were found in Costilla County recently. And just a few months ago, there was 2 bodies, like one just a few months ago, and then one back in November, December of last year, by the Catholic Church in San Luis. And we still weren't being told who those people are. So there's just so much questions. There's so many questions. They said they found human remains. Was it a leg? Was it an arm? Was it an entire body? Was it recently put there? Was it put there for a while? Can you identify the person? Can you say who the person is? Was it somebody that was squatting at the place? Was it somebody that just was an innocent person that got shot? Did you have a roommate or something? Were you renting the place out? Essentially, this tells us nothing except that a dead body was found. Well, at least give us a name, because what, just John Doe number fucking 15? Well, John Doe 15. We found John Doe 15. Let's pull up a couple pictures of the players, okay? So who is the sheriff of Costilla County? The sheriff is Danny Sanchez. Danny Sanchez is the sheriff of Costilla County. And then you also have, Cruz Soto. And then you have Ann Kelly's the district attorney. You got the 3 county commissioners, Stephen Romero, Quintana, I forget her name, and then I forget the guy's name too. But there's 3 county commissioners, there's the sheriff, and then they have assessors and surveyors, and then they got the planning and zoning office. They got a couple of judges, they got a clerk. That's where that damn Shelly Quintana Gallegos now, okay, got married, okay, so Shelly Quintana Gallegos didn't give a damn about the crimes. Judge Kim Woods didn't give a damn about the crimes. The previous prosecutor, Robert Willett, didn't give a shit about the crimes. Alonzo Payne didn't give a shit about the crimes. Ann Kelly didn't give a shit about the crimes. Let's see, there's so many, I told so many different people. Schultz, the police officer, Schultz, Cruz Soto, Danny Sanchez, they didn't give a shit about the crime. Victor Hummel and Brandon Howerton, they didn't give a shit about the crimes. So clerks, judges, prosecutors, and the cops, they don't give a shit about the crime. And so Danny Sanchez is right here. All we got is just one picture of Danny Sanchez, and then we got this guy sitting there, being sworn in. Don't know who is swearing him in, but this is Danny Sanchez right here. Danny Sanchez, I've actually talked to him briefly a couple times. He seems like, an okay guy in terms of being his demeanor is calm and nice and whatnot. But if you're going to be deliberately indifferent to the crimes that are happening, well, we don't need that shit. What the point is that? What is the point of having a sheriff that just shoves his thumb up his ass and doesn't do a damn thing? And then you got Cruz Soto. And I want to mention some of the comments that were made, actually, particularly at this meeting here. At this meeting here, you had the district attorney that went to the county commissioners and said she's at an impasse and she doesn't know what to do with Cruz Soto and Danny Sanchez. Okay? So, is this a good picture to hang out on? I don't know. You need to see movement, right? That's what you all need to see. So, I guess I'll just, Let's see. Cruz Soto. Does Cruz Soto come up with anything? Do we even have a single picture of Cruz Soto? No, it looks like he's totally scrubbed the internet, right? He's totally scrubbed the internet. And this right here, let's see. He did show up at that meeting, so that's interesting. How come Cruz Soto, well, it's an undersheriff. Maybe that's what it is. Undersheriff. Because there's been some pictures of him. I've seen pictures of him. So it's not like he's completely just, hiding away from everybody. Who is this? Is that Ann Kelly at her district attorney? Let's see, discusses bombshell presentation. All right, so for some reason, Cruz Soto, undersheriff, Costilla County. Let's type in that. Let's see if that pulls up something. Because I got some notes here. I got some details of what had happened at this meeting. All right, I'll just pull up this meeting here. Okay, and this actually picture is interesting. I mean, these are the 3 commissioners up here. This is Stephen Romero. This is Ann Kelly. I don't know who this fucking guy is, but he's just clearly annoyed, right? He's just annoyed. These assholes just want to sit around and collect a paycheck, but they don't care if what they do helps the lives of the people of the county. They're not going to stop the crimes, and then they're talking about not getting enough tax revenue and how they need to get more tax revenue in there. You know how a good way to get tax revenue? Get people in. Get people in, get businesses started, and to protect them. They want to charge double, triple for permits, but then they don't want to protect the people. Oh, well, you got to pay $300,000 for permits. Oh, what? Somebody did a crime? I don't care. Well, what the fuck did I just pay for the fucking permits for? So they're more worried about collecting money, but if you're just going to, basically they're creating the problem. Either they're part of the problem or they're creating the problem. So this was huge. All right, so some of the notes, okay? So Ann Kelly is going to go, there was a special meeting July 9th, 2025, so this happened just a month or 2 ago. Now, Ann Kelly, the district attorney for the San Luis Valley, the 10th Judicial District, I believe. She says she doesn't trust the sheriff. And she loves cops all over the place. She's trusted every corrupt cop from here to, to San Quentin. I don't know. But basically, she's been around cops, trust every cop she's ever come across. And she didn't want to say it because it broke her heart. But Ann Kelly says she does not trust the sheriff's office of Costilla County. For several reasons. Number one, they're not activating their body cameras. Oh, oops, I forgot to turn my camera on. Oops, the battery died. Oops, I didn't charge it up. They're not filing police reports. They're not logging in the evidence. They're losing a bunch of evidence. And then even after, in spite of all that, they're ignoring the subpoenas. Oh, Ann Kelly just subpoenaed us. Ah, fuck you, Ann Kelly. Who gives a shit, right? So they went ahead and they forget to log in evidence. They're not filling out police reports. They're not activating their body cameras. Okay, these are just procedural mechanisms that can be easily remedied. Hell, I probably could get, just with a couple of computers, all you need is like $3,000, maybe less. All you need is a couple of computers, a couple of body cameras, and you can do it all yourself. You can do it on the cheap, and you can do it, for a lot of information. The biggest thing with body cameras is storing all that data. You got to have a place to store all that data. Not a tough problem. Because of all these issues, ignoring the subpoenas, not logging in the evidence, losing narcotics and firearms, not filling out police reports, not activating their body cameras, these has resulted in not only mistrials, but 10 to 20 cases were dismissed. So they're just dismissing criminals who were charged with crimes because they didn't have the police report, they didn't have the body camera, the evidence was gone missing. They're ignoring subpoenas, and then these people don't think that they need to go and testify. They made the arrest. They don't want to go to court. They don't want to testify for why they made the arrest. According to Cruz Soto, he says that all it took is for an allegation. Well, according to the allegations, we're going to have to take you into custody. So, for Cruz Soto, all you need is an allegation to make an arrest. Well, we got allegations against Cruz Soto and Danny Sanchez and the Costilla County Sheriff's Office. There's plenty of allegations to take them into custody. Number one, there's a homicide case. Physical evidence was lost in a homicide case. Somebody was murdered. They collected evidence. Hey, where's that evidence? We don't know. You don't know because you're incompetent and stupid. You don't know where to put evidence. You don't know how to. Don't you have a house? Can't you put it in, a garage or a closet or an attic? You can't put it in a safe place. Excuse me. So number one, allegations. Cruz Soto and Danny Sanchez, and this is just for the sheriff's office in general. But when you say the sheriff's office, there's only 4 or 5 people. So there's 4 or 5 specific individuals that we are talking about when we say the sheriff's office. So physical evidence was lost for a homicide case. I wonder which homicide that was. Which homicide was that? Was that the Barry Morphew, Susan Morphew case? Was that the Edna Quintano? Was it the 2 dead bodies that were found by the Catholic Church in San Luis? San Luis is the capital of Costilla County. If this is a good Christian town, how can anybody just die right in the middle of town and the body just lie there for a fucking week before anybody notices or says a goddamn thing? How is that possible? Either they're completely, willfully, negligent and blind and deliberately indifferent, or they're a part of the shit. Firearms from a recent shooting event went missing. So, narcotics have gone missing. So the sheriff's office, don't know again if it's specifically Danny Sanchez or Cruz Soto, but they're making an arrest, they're taking in the guns, they're taking in the narcotics, and oh, whoopsie daisy, lo and behold, now they're gone. Oh, just fucking missing, huh? No, they weren't missing. They were stolen. They were stolen. Now, there was, at the meeting, Cruz Soto is going to say, hey, go ahead and drug test me. I'm going to take offense at that. None of my guys are on drugs. Okay, so you get the drug test. That only proves that they haven't used drugs in, the last few days. It doesn't mean that they're not stealing the damn guns and drugs and giving it to drug dealers and criminals and gang leaders. Costilla County has got right-wing sovereigns and it's got gangs. So guns are going missing and they're lying about it. This is how they're finding out about it, right? Dispatch finds out, oh, guns are stolen. They're going to take narcotics. They're going to take the guns. And then, oh, where did the thing go? When the explanation that they have been given is that they sent it to CBI. Oh, we went ahead and sent that in for processing. Oh, yeah, processing, bullshit. You took it, you kept it, you sold it to your goddamn uncle, you sold it to some cartel, Trinde, Aragua, or you got some fucking Nazi that's just taking all the damn guns. There was a burglary, so some citizen in Costilla County got robbed. They stole his guns. They stole his guns. And then the guns went missing. And you know what the sheriff's office said about those stolen guns that went missing? Oh, we gave it to the DA. Well, guess what? Ann Kelly isn't having that because she never takes in firearms. She's the DA's office. The police do the police work, do the investigation. You collect the evidence. You store the evidence. So Ann Kelly knows for sure she didn't get the gun. So what happened to the fucking gun? Why are they saying that CBI has it, the DA has it, oh, everybody has it, oh yeah. They're not responsible or held to account for anything. They like having a badge, they like having a gun, they like going around oppressing people, they like intimidating people, they like fucking people over. So narcotics and firearms are going missing, they're being stolen. They're being stolen. Oh, they want to blame the evidence technician. Oh, the evidence technician was disgruntled. The buck stops with you, Danny Sanchez. You're the goddamn sheriff. And if the buck goes any higher, then it's Stephen Romero and Quintana and this other guy, the 3 county commissioners. The buck stops with the 3 county commissioners and the sheriff. Crimes are happening in your county and you're not doing a damn thing about it. There was some talk about how people they don't stick around for the police. They only get paid $48,000. If you go to the sheriff's office in Costilla County, you only get $48,000 per year. That's it. Well, what's crazy about that is the median income of Costilla County is $20,000. You're telling me that there's no good people in Costilla County who A, want some power, B, want some money? Get the fuck out of here. That goes against human nature. That goes against common sense. It's the poorest county in the state. The median income is $20,000. There's plenty of good people in Costilla County who would make great cops. Oh, $48,000, it's not enough. We need a pay raise. You need a pay raise because you're stealing fucking narcotics and goddamn guns and giving it to your fucking drug dealing buddies? Yeah, we don't need that. Yeah, we need to get more money. They actually got more money. They had something, 2021, they had a 1% sales tax on the ballot. The people passed that. We already gave you more money. What happened to that fucking money? Oh, they closed their jail down, and now they're sending anybody that they arrest to Archuleta County, Huerfano County, Los Alamos. So they're sending them fucking goddamn so far away that the cost for the car and the gas and all the shit and the time and the man hours, that's what they wasted their 1% sales tax on. Why don't you open up the goddamn jail? You got a 10-person jail there. Oh, you need medical fucking thing? Just get some goddamn Band-Aids and some rubbing alcohol. And if it's a big thing, drive them to the hospital in goddamn Conejos County or Alamosa. All you need basically is your bare essentials. Food, water, shelter, make sure they're not shanking each other. So Ann Kelly went to this meeting saying she's already dismissed 10 to 20 cases. And it's not just guns and narcotics, but it's also domestic violence cases too. The evidence was lost in a domestic violence case. So she had to go to the woman and say that she can't press charges against your abuser. Oh yeah, that guy that strangled you? Well, we can't press charges against your strangler because the Costilla County's office, the sheriff's office, lost the evidence. So the guns are going missing, the narcotics are going missing, and I actually heard that cocaine and crack, that gets out of your system within a day or two. We'll take a drug test right here, right now. Will ya? Because you should. Go ahead and do it just to prove that you're innocent on that front, but that doesn't prove that you didn't take the damn thing and then hand it off to somebody. Maybe you took it and you buried it in a fucking ditch somewhere. Seems like, what you should have is an evidence room and just have 24/7 surveillance, a video camera that's on the evidence room 24/7. So that way, anybody that goes in, anybody that goes out, That can't happen. Well, we went ahead and we got 2 kilos worth of cocaine, and oh, whoops, I'm really hyper right now, and I got the sniffles, but we don't know what happened to the damn cocaine. So what is Ann Kelly going to do about all this? Well, she doesn't know. She's only got a few tools at her disposal, a couple of quivers in her, a couple of arrows in her quiver. A couple of arrows in her quill. So for corrupt and unlawful acts, she's going to get the Attorney General to investigate the Costilla County Sheriff's Office for corrupt and unlawful acts. She's also considering filing a federal case to put an injunction on them so that they'll be operating under an injunction by a federal court. She's also considering just about not prosecuting the cases. So when Danny Sanchez and Cruz Soto says, hey, A, B, C, and D happen and we want to prosecute this person, no, we're not going to do that. We don't trust you. We don't trust you. So if you're saying this person is a bad guy, maybe that person's a good guy because you're the bad guy. Since you're the bad guy, anybody you say is bad is actually a good person. No, we're not going to take your cases in. And even though Ann Kelly says that, that's not going to be helpful, I think it's going to be really helpful. I think there's 2 things that the county commissioners could do. They could hire their own police force, separate from the sheriff's office. The feds could get in. You could have some FBI agent that just goes around and he's the main cop. You could also have the investigators. The DA has investigators. Have him be the main cop. And even though the sheriff's office is elected, so you'll have, these other cops that you're competing with, other people that's got a badge and a gun, you'll have the same state authority that they do. And you'll be the honest person that the DA can trust. You can also get some good citizens. Start a DA club. The citizens for a good Costilla County. The DA could go to those citizens like the grand jury. She could actually get those good citizens from Costilla County into the grand jury. It is not difficult to impanel a grand jury. I could walk out here, if I'm the district attorney or the sheriff, I could just walk out here and find goddamn 20 people that would be a part of the grand jury just right outside of any household anywhere. Go out there, knock on their doors, ask if they want to be a part of the grand jury. You could present the case and say, here's the evidence, and they either indict or don't indict. The good thing about the grand jury is that the people themselves could bring up a presentment that could turn into an indictment. So they could, charge people too. If you can't trust the sheriff's office, then you could make the grand jury stronger. The commissioners could hire their own police. The DA could send in their own investigator. And then the FBI could actually have an FBI agent that goes around doing the damn police work that these motherfuckers should be doing. Then you would actually have somebody that you could trust that's in that office. But as long as they're the main people who's going around getting the firearms and getting the narcotics, you're going to continue to see more crimes. You're going to continue to see more drugs, more guns, more dead bodies. So when it comes to the dead body, when I think about the dead body that they found, I have a lot of questions because basically the media has told us not a goddamn thing. The media hasn't told us a goddamn thing. And the media is not telling us a goddamn thing because the sheriff's office doesn't tell us a goddamn thing. They are not transparent. They are not honest. They are not good. And they want a pay raise. We're only getting $48,000 per year. Oh, boo-hoo, cry me a river. I can fucking do way more. Give me $48,000, I'll take $15,000 to live, and then I'll go ahead and take the other $30,000 to make sure that you got all the equipment in a brand new fucking evidence room. There's a lot of good people that's in Costilla County that these motherfuckers ignore. They want the power. They want to push everybody else out so they can keep on taking. They're corrupt. They're corrupt. They're corrupt. And the narcotics and the guns aren't going missing. They're stealing them and then they're lying about it. Oh, we gave it to you. Now, I know that you didn't give it to me. I'm the DA. We don't take in guns. Oh, we gave them to CBI. No, you didn't. Why do you keep fucking lying? Well, we gave them to somebody. Oh, yeah, we gave it to the Trinde Aragua. We gave it to the Three Kings. We gave it to some other notorious MS-13. We gave him the MS-13. That's who's got him. Oh yeah, I forgot. So I'll end this off by just speculating about what happened with that dead body that they found in southern, part. This is Costilla County. You got, Road 159, and you got County Road G. Put somebody on the Labato Bridge. Put somebody there by the New Mexico-Colorado state line, because interstate commerce is a federal jurisdiction. So interstate commerce, that would be perfect for, whoever. ATF, FBI, Homeland Security, whoever wants to, put an officer, put one there on the New Mexico-Colorado border. Man, I got videotapes of people committing crimes. Doing drive-by shootings, clicking their fucking gun, going around killing people's dogs, spotlighting into all hours of the night. They're burning people's houses down just to steal their wood stoves. The media's not doing their job. The police aren't doing their job. The authorities aren't doing their job. And basically, nobody gives a fuck, right? So, dead body, who cares, right? The reason why I want to speculate on this, because that's all we got. So, let's see if just speculation can get us somewhere. Because it's possible that somebody murdered somebody and then dumped the body off at that person's house. That's possible. Now, if this was an absentee landlord, so the house is just sitting there, you know what else is possible is they could have been living in that house, and then there was some dispute between that person and another person. So two people had a dispute, and the one guy shot the other guy, and now the other guy is dead right there at the house. And then the guy says he goes to the property and found a dead body on his property. So that tells me, at least, I'm speculating, but that tells me that the guy wasn't there. He wasn't there living at his house, protecting his house, but his house is still there, up and running. There was crimes that was happening in Conejos County as well. Nice guy, built a nice house, had a barn and a house and an American flag. And they stay in other people's houses. That's what they do. So, I'm thinking Travis Decker, right? Travis Decker is out on the run, and there was another guy that would stay in people's vacation houses. So the guy could have been living there, got shot by somebody else. He could have been a drug dealer who got shot. He could have been a bad guy. Could have been an innocent guy. Could have been an innocent guy, and then they just took the body and then they planted the body there, so that way the person that called it in, he gets in trouble. Because that's the best way to make sure that the crime rate is zero. When a victim finds a dead body on their lawn and they call 911, well, you arrest that guy that found it. The good honest man. The good honest man that found the body, you arrest him, and now no more questions are being asked. Most likely, if this person was loved and was missing, somebody would have reported him missing. A lot of poor people, a lot of shady shit that's happening. The right-wing sovereigns and Nazis are out there. Who knows how many people have already burned off their fingertips to make sure that they don't have any fingerprints. So you got a major criminal element that's out there, and they're going after the good lawful people. The good lawful people who pay for their permits and want a family and to work on a career. That pisses off the Nazis, the gangs, and the police. So let's see, what else can we speculate? Could have been a body that was dropped off there. Could have been a body that was staying at the house while the guy was gone. And if the guy was staying at the house while the guy was gone, well, then there's plenty of fingerprints that you could just fingerprint the whole damn place. If he doesn't have an ID on his pocket, how long was his body decomposing? You could go through all your data reports and all that shit. You could also canvass the neighborhood. Who saw what? Who saw what when? What did you see? There's been Penske trucks. There's moving trucks. There's people on four-wheelers. There's people in pickup trucks. They do drive-by shootings and then they hide in the mountains. They do drive-by shootings and then they just hide in the valleys, the dips in the valleys that's in the roads. Sometimes the cops would go out there, and when the cops turned around and went back, then the damn Nazis would actually follow the cops out, either laughing at them or laughing at the victims. But basically being like, when the cops leave, this is our territory. This is our territory around here. So a whole bunch of dumb shit that's going on down there. There's also Mesita. There's something, the biodiesel plant. The people at that biodiesel plant, there's something fucking up with them. They are suspicious as fuck. They had hired Phil Greeny, so Phil Greeny was a part of it, but why would you have a big dump truck? Why would you have a big snowplow dump truck Something's going on with the Mesita biodiesel plant. The people that work there, they know something. Everybody knows something, but nobody wants to say anything because if the investigators don't get the guy, then you'll go down as a snitch. And so the people that are part of the gangs, they're going to make sure that their gangs are protected. And anybody that's not a part of their gang, well, they could be a snitch, they could be a witness. And you don't want no witnesses. You're either going to have to intimidate the witness or you're going to have to get rid of the witness. So let's keep speculating. How much longer do I got on this? I guess it's about time. I just want to make sure I sort of consider all the things that could be. So it could have been an innocent person that was shot and killed and then the body was dumped. It could have been a criminal that was staying there and that body dumped. It could have been a good person that was staying there. There was like there was a 15-year-old that ran away from his parents. His parents had a little tiny RV. There was 5 people to a tiny RV. So the 15-year-old had ran away, was living in somebody else's house. He was living in somebody else's house. So that's not a criminal he broke in and was trespassing, but that's not particularly a criminal who's, part of a gang. So if that's not a criminal that's a part of a gang, you could have an innocent person that was staying at the house. And then somebody else came across him and shot and killed him. The person could have been shot and killed away from the scene, and the body could have been dropped off right there. Guilty or innocent. The person could have been guilty or innocent. Maybe they were just guilty of having $50 in their wallet. Maybe they were just guilty of wanting to buy some weed. Maybe they were guilty of, having good tennis shoes. That Kenny John was killed because he had a truck, a four-wheeler, and a trailer. And where the hell does the truck and the four-wheeler and the trailer go? So they stole all this property, and then they clearly know where to send the truck. I wouldn't know where a chop shop is. I wouldn't know, if I had a stolen truck, I wouldn't know how to get rid of it. So that means that these people are connected, and that means that this is probably organized crime. There's some organized crime that's going on. Both the Nazis, and we'll just say, I'm saying Trinde Aragua because we'll just say the Costilla County gang, right? So the Costilla County gang or the fucking right-wing sovereigns. My first stop would be to talk to the right-wing sovereigns and the people that I've already mentioned. So that kind of seems like that's all the possibilities, right? Guilty or innocent person living at the house, or a guilty or innocent person living out of the house that was dumped there. The body was dumped there. And maybe to even put, evidence at the person's house to make it look like it was that guy. Maybe they were pissed off that guy, and they were giving the guy, a sign. I would presume that the person that called 911 and that there was a dead body is not the guilty party. But he could have came across somebody that got mad at him or were pissed off at him. And for these criminals, just like tyrants, any excuse serves a criminal. Any excuse serves a tyrant. I would have robbed him. Why'd you do that? Because he kicked my kid. I robbed him. Why'd you do that? He looked at me. And nobody ever looks at goddamn Hitler fucking criminal gangster motherfucker. I don't know. So another dead body has been found in Costilla County. Another fucking dead body has been found in Costilla County. Another dead body has been found in Costilla County, Colorado.